Okay, so this little chap is George. Say hello to the camera. Give me your hand. Okay, George, you say hello to the camera. George, give me your hand. Okay, thank you. What we're doing today, I'm taking him for a little walk, and we're going to have a look at some of the allotments. These are the allotments off to the right of Zwirki and Wigury as you go from the airport to city centre, and there's very much an allotment culture in Warsaw. Działka rekreacyjna is the way it's called, or a sort of recreational parcel, or allotment, I suppose is also. This is they don't own these, you see, this is the funny thing. They rent them. Nobody actually owns them, and the rent could be stopped in a year. So in order to buy one, you have to buy the right to rent them. The rent is almost peppercorn, very small amount, something like, I don't know, 100 a month, 100 a year maybe, or something, with some more bits of costs on top of the association. But you don't actually own them, so therefore if you get the right to buy one of these, all you're doing is you're getting the right to buy that person's position in the allotment owning association, and that's what you pay for. So it's not like paying for a bit of land that you own. And the fact is that this could be prime building land, so at any time any of these allotments could be, you could receive the letter from the state, or via the allotment owning association they could receive a letter from the state saying, that's your lot, chums, so kiss your plums goodbye, as they say, and next year we're going to take all your lovely fruit trees and dig them up and put a house there instead. Now, probably a lot of people would get their knickers in a twist if they did do this, which is why the allotments are usually they're probably going to be the last things that do get built on in Warsaw, although some, for the needs of embassies and such like, more, you know, high-ranking government needs, have been already pulled up. But there's a number of things like this. Also, the Finnish homes that are in Ulica, or the whole city of them, of little Finnish wooden homes that were only supposed to be provisional, that are out there in. Georgie, let's go down the avenue here. You know, let's walk down the avenue. Georgie, you know, I'm supposed to be in charge of this walk, not you, Sonny Jim. So, also you insist on singing while I'm talking. The viewers want to see the lovely gardens. Don't you want to cooperate with the viewers? They're your viewers as well, mate, not just mine. So that's what you think of it, is it? Alright. Well, that's not going to be a very popular opinion on YouTube. Okay. Convalarium myalis down there. So if you do take an autistic child for a walk, although my son doesn't tend to eat plants, that's more my daughter, then it's always good to know what plants are less wholesome than others. You want to go out there onto that place, do you? Well, I don't really want to go out onto that road. I'd rather stay in the allotment area and have a film of it. So we may have a conflict of wills in a second. And so, as you can see, you can sometimes put little houses on. They're not all that official, but and you could, if you do decide to put up a little house like that, well, you won't allow to register yourself as resident in it. You have to vacate it anyway in the winter because there's no way of heating it. And so what usually happens is people move their tellies into it for the summer and just sit there in the summer. Come on. No, we're not going out that way. No. No, we're not going out that way. We're not. No, we're not. We're going to go this way. This way. Georgie. What? What's wrong with this? This is very nice. Well, all the more if you're rubbing your backside, we can't go on a longer walk. I know you want everything. Give me your hand anyway. Come on. Thank you. There's another example. They've got nice little street names. There's Alea Tulipanov, Tulip Alley. I don't believe there's any obligation to have tulips just because it's called Tulip Alley, but there you go, there's somebody's apples have fallen from the tree there. So if you wanted to go scrumping, this would be a fine place to do it. I'm not supposed to do it though. But of course it's always possible to find nice apples that fall outside into the path, and then I suppose nobody could object. You look like one of those old-fashioned milk jugs with the blue and white stripes. I wish I had one of them actually. If I haven't seen them, if I'd seen them I would have. But it's nice, isn't it, George? You look around you a bit. You like all of this. It's nature. Surely you enjoy going up and down this. It's like a glorified garden centre. The funny thing is though, you think that there'll be people out here doing things the whole time. What do you want to do now? Ah, you hear water. You can hear somebody's got a water feature. You want to look at that, don't you? What's all that about? You hear running water. That's what's interesting you, isn't it? Well, that's where the pond is. It's on this one, not on that one. What you're hearing is somebody has managed to get enough electricity in there to get a pond running. That's interesting. That's a bit crafty. I wonder how they did that. Maybe they've got a windmill or something in there as well, or something making electricity for them. There's nowhere these days that's free of these snails. Now, oh George, you're going to pull things up off the floor now, are you, and play about with them? Come on, we're going. Give me your hand. Now your hand is all dirty. I don't want to hold you by the hand, I'll hold you by the arm now. Especially as I'm nicely dressed. Don't want to go for a walk and let the side down. So sometimes I do though, obviously. But that's another nice one. You can imagine being able to spend some of the summer there. Now it's September, summer's kind of over. People have taken away their nice pea. People have taken away their TVs back home again. They're not expecting such good weather. But the funny thing is that the weather today is actually nicer for a walk than it has been for some time. It's cooled down a bit though. Maybe some people wouldn't like to sit out in it. I would, but then I'm a quite heavy chap, so I get warmer than a lot of people do. I'm kind of built for the northern hemisphere, or rather, not the Norman hemisphere, the northern hemisphere, the northern kind of part of Europe. Poland used to be sort of given that you would sort of greet somebody, whereas not necessarily these days. It's a bit less so in Warsaw anyway. Beak here, isn't that? Oh look, grapes. So you see, grapes will grow in Poland. Oh, the Joba. Look, these are lovely black ones. Or red as they call them in the wine industry. Those are more pinky ones. Rosé. So he's obviously a bit of a grape fan. Maybe he drinks them, maybe he eats them. Maybe it isn't even a he. Some of them are quite ornamental, these little wooden houses with nice verandas that you can sit out on. You can buy these things, by the way. There are businesses which will give you a little temporary wooden house and basically put it together for you. These guys might actually be from a professional firm that makes these houses in these places rather than the actual owner. They could be either. You could buy it with or without installation. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good, isn't it? Hibiscus, isn't it? Is it a hibiscus? Or is it a mallow of some sorts? Give me a... And no, I know what it is. It's a lavateria. Lavateria. So if you feel like going to lavateria... George, if you want to go to lavateria, this is the place. You've got a nappy on. So, nice, actually. That's got nice Prussian sage in it as well, if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful marigolds in the distance, one of my favourite flowers, Calendula officinalis. Right, instead of playing with the drain, how about we carry on going? I can see that you're getting towards the end of your walking capabilities, George. So let's go down this way, shall we? Come on. Stop trying to climb down that drain. Come on. Give me your hand. Come on. We're going. Bye. George. Stop putting your hand down the drain. Come on. George, come on. If you get any choice in the matter, don't have autistic children. They're a lot more difficult than normal ones. Come on. That's quite pretty, isn't it? The pink and the red together. Right. Not sure what these people have planted beer cans. Not sure what that's for. I think that might be a snail trap or something. Not entirely certain. Come on, hand. Thank you. That's the one you head down that drain, isn't it? Then they wonder why my eyelids swell up. Try my best if I get anything in my eye, which is likely since we're going by bonfires now, not to touch them. Immediately I say that, I immediately want to do it. The person's got a well of their own. Well. More grapes. I don't think I've ever walked through allotments as such, filming them before. Even though this is like a cottage garden, like the kind of English style cottage garden. This one's more of a lawn arrangement. You can imagine the guy having to bring his lawnmower out here or having it out here. People are also sitting around having a chat. maybe drinking a cup or something there. I think they probably do have electricity enough to run a filter or run a kettle or run a TV. Yeah, they're definitely drinking tea. There's a racking great big crow on that gate. There's a bunch of them in there and a magpie. 2 big crows and a magpie. I expect any seeds that guy's put down are in for it. Another tea out on the veranda there. It's a nice way of living if you're retired, because you get more time, whereas most people just in it at the weekend, you know, or at their holiday. And of course that pretty much limits you to always being in the same place, which suits some people, wouldn't suit me too much. Rather, I am happy to be in the same place, and that's called my home, out on my terrace. But if I then go out, then I'd rather go to a bunch of other places rather than be continually going to and fro between home and allotment along just the self-same route or a small available variety of routes. Because as it is, if I did want to go out, I can go out either for a walk or for a rickshaw drive or a bike drive or a car ride, or go out on public transport in any direction from where I live, which is rather well like. That's the other reason why I don't fancy really living right next to the sea, because it kind of reduces, on the one hand you've got the sea, but on the other hand it kind of reduces the amount of other things you could do. So if I did want to live next to the sea, I definitely want to be at the head of a bay where only part of one direction, as it were, was actually the sea, and the rest of it was still land, various land directions that you could go off in. That would perhaps be the ideal retirement place. So there you are. Shall we go down Aleja Piwoniowa, which is Peony Avenue? Oh, not Peony. Piwonia is Polish. Peony Avenue. Now, don't pee in Peony Avenue, although you could because you've got a nappy on. Hopefully you've still got a nappy on after passing the lavatoria. So, here we go. This is number 351. So there must be more than just 100 in here. There must be quite a few more than that. I'm not sure how many there are. I can't really estimate it in my mind, but I don't think it would go up to 1,000. I don't think there could be that many here. But what's it at max? Now, George, I think you're going to need to hold me a little bit more carefully because it's a good old dog there. I'm not sure that dog may be a bit territorial. It's quite nice, isn't it? Hello. Hello. Slightly nervous, but the main didn't bark or do anything nasty. Dzień dobry.
Aleś pani błyskawica.
Oh, he was going to somebody else instead of us. He saw somebody he knew behind us. But how big is it? How big could it be? I suppose at the most it might be 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre, and the average one of these might, I thought more 800 metres by 800 metres, but maybe that's underestimating it. Maybe it's 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre, and maybe the average one is less than 1,000 metres, maybe the average one is, or rather less than a hectare, maybe the average one's a half hectare. So that would mean, even that would mean there's maybe it's 50 by 50, I don't know. That would mean that you've got 20 by 20, that's 400. Yeah, maybe there's about 400 of them in here, because they're in the 300s numbered at this area. They were lower at the beginning when we started walking. So maybe there's about 400 of them. So if you wanted to get one, you would have to get in line, get in the queue with the association and buy one, or pay the extra money to get one directly off somebody to sort of inherit their place in the association. Either that or queue up for a long time. A lot of people actually get them from their parents, they hand them down from generation. Some of these might be second or third generation already. Some of them are very mature gardens. Certainly if you don't look after it and it starts going to weeds, then the association are pretty quick to say, okay, we're not renewing your rent because you don't look after it. And so therefore, without exception, a certain standard is maintained in these. These are like these winter crocuses, aren't they? That have just been planted there. Oh, peaches. That's something that you wouldn't expect necessarily in Warsaw. But they definitely are, aren't they? There's no way that's an apple, that's peaches. Surprises me that they can see through the winter. Quite remarkable, some of the fruits out here. Dzień dobry. See, I gave a dzień dobry there and was ignored. So evidently it's not the done thing to actually greet people, although earlier on the woman down there said dzień dobry. But I suppose you never know whether to say it or not. This time I said it and nothing came of it. So I suppose in a sense it's because people come here to be away from other people, which is why necessarily any people coming down every 5 minutes dzień dobry you might not be the thing they want. Certainly I will say that as you go around the osiedle where I live, the sort of group of flats, it's the done thing to dzień dobry neighbours, but getting in and out of the lift and that. In the Czech Republic there's more dzień dobrying that goes on. You even dzień dobry people that you don't know in the same building at work, which is not done in Warsaw. Possibly it's done more in places like Silesia. So Czechs are very up for greeting people they don't know, which seems friendly and polite. Whether that means that they necessarily are really more friendly and polite than other people is another matter. I don't think that is the case, in fact, because they're first in line to get difficult over nothing when they have the opportunity to, which kind of puts the lie to all of that outward friendliness. But then outward friendliness and real friendliness don't often add up to one another. I think that the British are actually genuinely friendly people, but are often outwardly more reserved. And as for the Germans, it takes ages to make a German friend, but once you've got a German friend, you've probably pretty much got a friend for life. I've got one. Good chap. Solid. And even if I'm sometimes lax in keeping the communication going, he kind of overlooks it and keeps it going from his side, which is good. That's been going on for 10 years now, since I actually was his employer. But we both ended up getting the boot at the same time for very unjust reasons. Largely known in the business as first in, first out. Whenever there's an issue or a restructuring or a difference in shareholder, which is what it was in this case, and everybody else queues up to make sure you are the one out of the door if you came more recently than others, and together with you all the other folk in the department of internal audit that you were building up. Especially as in this guy's case, he was a real, he was a real stand-up guy. He wouldn't put up with any shit and really did give people audits of a lifetime. He used to put a little bit of the wind up some of the folk that he would audit, which is what you should do in my opinion if you're an auditor. Okay. Well, you can be as aggressive as you like because you're just tiny. Hi. Hi. How's it going? Okay. That's why small dogs are aggressive, because they can get away with it. It would be kind of mean to put the boot into a dog that's that small that's barking at you. Whereas something which is big enough to do you some damage and is barking at you, you better get your boot in before it gets its teeth in. Which would be mean to do to such a little, cute little thing like that. Because with that bigger bugger that we saw a minute ago, I was already mentally sharpening my shoe leather. But he was alright. If I had stuck the boot in though, the woman that said Dzień dobry should have said some other choice words, no doubt. And so would I have done. And Dobry would not have been one of them, or Dzień. Not, well, maybe it would have slipped in there somewhere. Depends what I had in mind at the time. There you go, there's some nice marigolds. Do you like marigolds? You can put them on my grave. There's some more over there. Don't really want daisies, Michaelmas or asters or any sort on it, but you can definitely put marigolds on as much as you like. Sweet peas. Oh, 396. So maybe it will get over 400 then. It's a bit of a sandier terrain here. I think, Georgie, we need to go back, don't we? Because otherwise it's going to come to the point where you, young son of mine, are going to 398. You're going to start refusing to walk onwards, and I'm going to have to drag you. There's a fine line in the way you do things, young George, between not enough and too much. Is this bamboo? Or are they just bamboozling me? This one's 372 now, so it's going back down again, the number. I can't work out for the life of me what... oh, 401 on this side though. Which is more logical. .374, that's a nice old-fashioned way, and then a standard way down there. Right, I just found out a way of 376. .377, 405, okay. So that pretty much means that I would know how to calculate. It must be 20 deep and roughly 20 broad, because it's a rough square. But it must be slightly more than 20 broad, because obviously it's over 400. But now that we're near the road, there's probably not going to be much more than 400. But I don't think that, from what I can see of them, they're not all the same size. Some of them are rather big. This one's got a greenhouse in it. A bit more serious growing of this, that and the other in there. Mainly tomatoes. I can see even flower inside there. But I can't see many tomatoes growing, which is strange. Maybe that's his second lot. I suppose we'd better start making tracks, George, don't you think? 407. Warszawski Uniwersytet Medyczny, back behind there, the Warsaw Medical University. It would be nice to think, wouldn't it, that some of these allotments were making herbs for the nice herbal medicines, but unfortunately conventional medicine is not about herbs, it's about big business, pharmaceutical companies concocting in factories things which will probably sort one thing out and give you another problem. Nice Fatsia japonica over there, or japonica if you want to give it a more modern pronunciation. And a little bit of morning glory. Right, George, hand. Thank you. So there we go. Rakowiec is the name of this. Oh, here we go. There's a plan. And it really goes up to 459, but it's, even 519 is one side as well. So there we are. That's a number, I suppose. Maybe it's not. Maybe not all the numbers are used. Maybe some of them historically got subsumed into other allotments. That's it, Rodziny Ogród Działkowy, family allotments, Rakowiec, and ROD is Rodziny Ogród Działkowy, and that's basically the simple rules for visitors. Keep dogs on a lead. Hey, careful, What are you doing, George? I don't want to fight with you now. Okay, I better stop this because it's near a road, it's serious now.